What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and it's Japanese Tuesday. We're going to change a little bit up how I break down the decks and picks and choices. We're going to at least go over 3 decks, but I figured it would be a fun way to actually look at the meta as it's developing, as a way of introing to seeing as it evolves through week to week. You kind of start seeing what decks I'm starting to look at. So without further ado, let's dive into the video and talk about it. So first off, let's break it down. So Red Black Greymon is topping. We have 165 decks so far looking at it, which is really cool to see how the format is developing and evolving. Next set of decks is Hunter taking 26 of the slots, then followed by Red Hybrid at 18. What's really interesting to see is Beelzemon X is starting to creep up. It's pretty quickly starting to catch up, and I wouldn't be surprised if it dethrones the top 3 of the format sooner than later. The reason for that is the starter decks actually got released this weekend for the Asian side and the JP side, so now they have full access to these starter decks. Well, advanced decks, shall we say. Those will provide more ammunition and tools for this deck, so it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. Then Crossheart is on the 6th slot right now. Then follow Blue-Green Imperialdramon at 6. Jesmon at 4 tops. Then you have Examon at 4. Mastemon at 4. Grandis at 3. Gallantmon at 3. Shine Greymon at 3. Machinedramon at 3. All-Force Veedramon at 3. Armor Rush at 2. D-Ripper at 1. Rush Tyrant at 1. Purple Aggro 1. Fall Down Mode of Falling Mons at 1. Metal Garurumon at 1. Megadramon at 1. If you guys want to see Megadramon list next week, let me know down in the comments. I might pop it up, but this week I did not feature it. Then we have Purple Yellow Control, Dark Knightmon, Bagra Armory, Shoutmon DX, Greymon, Durobrickmon, and then Eosmon as the final one to take a look at for 165 decks. So pretty interesting to see the top. It is looking like almost Red Black Greymon, which is very interesting to explain, is that because of how the deck is now, there's really nothing below like the ultimate line down that is completely different. Top ends can be basically War Greymon focus, or you're focusing on Black War Greymon, or you could be a hybrid of both. So it just kind of got easier just to mush all 3 deck types into one, because it is literally the same coat of paint for that deck. There's nothing really changing for it, and it's just different top ends, and that's about it. So something to keep a look out there. Then we have the Hunter deck, which is basically a Restramon. Then we're at about 11% with the Red Hybrid, Bloom Quartz, Bloom Hydra. Quartz is about 14. Beelzemon's at 12. Crossheart is at 10. Imperialdramon's at 6 with 3.6%. 2.4 for Examon and Jesmon Maste. Grandis at 1.8. It's just seeing very interesting how the breakdown is, but it definitely looks like Red Black needs a little bit of a hammer down. Maybe we could see something there. But outside of that, we're looking pretty solid for how the meta has been adapting. We'll have to see if EX4 is going to change anything up, but it doesn't look like much will change there. Next, let's get into it. First deck we're going to look at is a Beelzemon X Antibody. So with the new starter deck, you kind of get some nice needed support. What do I mean by that? First off, the Impmon here, when attacking, if you have 20 or more cards in your trash, then this Digimon can Digivolve into a Beelzemon in your trash for a Digievolution cost 3, ignoring its Digievolution requirements. And then when a card is trashed from your deck, delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. Is not a bad inheritable, but this being able to warp from trash is huge. This lets you get in from raising out to a real body really easily, really quickly. And then what you could do is put X Antibody underneath it before it swings. So swing in, then it gets to play that, Digivolve into a Beelzemon, and then while you're swinging, go into Beelzemon X Antibody from hand, trash all their security, game them from there. And that can just be fantastic in itself, right? Because, you know, when Digimon with this Digimon has Beelzemon or X Antibodies evolution, for every 10 cards in your trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. Really can deal some damage, especially if you're at 30. That's 3 free damage and then a 4th hit. Not bad. I mean, all in all, using like the 7th full cluster here, being able to, when you would Digivolve into a Beelzemon X by returning this card from your trash to the bottom of the deck, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level, being able to blow something up. And let's say if you had like multiple of these, this can really put a damper in that Black War Greymon protection circle, because they can only protect once out of that deal. Now they're getting hit by it twice, means there's most likely it's not going to survive the turn if you Digivolve that way. You know, we had like Death Stinger for the memory gain shenanigans, and then being able to pop a level 4 or lower for every 10 cards, add it, and it gets higher, really does help out. I mean, all in all, the deck is fantastic. Using the new X Antibody lines to really push for game, because they have really fantastic effects. I mean, even looking like this, when Digivolving trash the top 2 cards of your deck, if this Digimon has Wizardmon or X Antibodies Digi-Evolution, this Digimon gains blocker until the end of your opponent's turn instead. If you can get blocker, that can really help there. You know, you have Wizardmon here, just so when it's trash, gain a memory, but it's combos nicely with Wizardmon X. Then you have like Bowmon here, so when Digivolving trash 3 cards to your deck, and then when Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon gains on deletion. If you have 10 or more cards in your trash, play a Beelzemon from your trash without paying its play cost, and it gives power to your Wizards or Demon Lord traits. But then you also have Bowmon X Antibody. When Digivolving, return 1 X Antibody from your trash to your hand, and then when Digivolving, trash the top 3 cards of your deck. If this Digimon has Bowmon or X Antibodies Digi-Evolution, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon instead. So, being able to not mill when you don't need to, if you put an X Antibody underneath, or if you have Bowmon already and you decide to devolve up, not a bad trade-off. I mean, digs you a little deeper, does some crazy fantastic work. If you didn't notice, they don't play the memory setter, they use this Ayamako, which isn't a bad trade-off, especially since you can put one of your Digimon, you know, one of your Digimons. When one of your Digimon Digivolves into a purple Digimon, you may suspend this tamer to place 1 card from your hand on top of your deck and gain a memory. This allows you to extend your plays, and it's tamer reliant, so I mean, it's got potential, and it's gonna really combo, and I wouldn't be surprised if this moves into the top 3 very easily. Next, we're gonna talk about is Imperialdramon. Imperialdramon is getting some nice needed love and support here. So when Digivolving, if you have a blue card is in this Digi-Evolution card, suspend this Digimon. If you have a green in this Digi-Evolution card, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Lets you control the board and be able to unsuspend and swing in, not suspend himself. That would be a useless effect. So, end of attack, you may Digivolve this Digimon into a Digimon card with Imperialdramon in its name in your hand for its Digi-Evolution cost. When this Digimon would Digivolve by defect, reduce the Digi-Evolution cost by 2. So, he comes in for 2 pretty easily, or even just 1, depending on how you do it, especially if you use this Davis to cheat him in. Not a bad trade-off there. I mean, the whole focus of the deck is using the same old trick. It is a Jagras-based deck, heavily focused on that, especially with the new Vmons having the DNA Digivolve effect and the new Wormmon, the DNA Digivolve at the end of turn. Just very powerful stuff, and especially with the new Stingmon here. So it is a 4 cost to play, but because if you're going to DNA Digivolve with this XVmon and that Stingmon, it reduces it down to 2. So especially if you just hard play that gains you 2 memory. This was just a 2 cost Stingmon paired to this Stingmon costing you 3, and it can be negated one way. This can too as well, but being able to have the alternative choices between it really does help out. RideMyAvatar is just basically a color fixer, depends on what you draw. It's supposed to get you there. Imperialdramon is being able to trash the top 3 Digi-Evolution cards of all your opponent's Digimon. Then when you DNA Digivolve, 2 of your opponent's Digimon with no Digi-Evolution cards can't attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. So you get to lock down a couple Digimon that way. And, you know, end of attack, if this Digimon has Imperialdramon in its name or free in its trait, gain a memory. Keeps it your turn. Imperialdramon, just regular OTK shenanigans. Bemon, being able to swing into your opponent's Digimon really does help out. And then basically when your Digimon with Imperialdramon in its name or free in its traits deletes one of your opponent's Digimon battle, trash the top security stack. We notice that has been a major trend recently. Free trashing effects through the main character's Digimon almost. So it's very interesting to see how that will continue. I have like Beelzemon being able to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. It can't unsuspend during your opponent's next unsuspend phase. Really helps out. And then you also have Imperialdramon Fighter Mode. When Digivolving, suspend all your opponent's Digimon with no Digievolution cards. Then return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to its owner's hand. By returning one Imperialdramon Dragon Mode from this Digievolution card to its owner's hand, return all your opponent's suspended Digimon to the bottom of its owner's deck instead. Being able to control board state really does help out. And then all turns, this Digimon gets 1000 DP for each color in its Digievolutions. While this Digimon has 2 or more colors in its Digievolution, gains security +1 and blocker. Just that added blocker feature is nasty. We know what Megadeth does. Just be able to use a 5-cost option, get out of here. Flower Cannon's very interesting to see in this list, but suspending your opponent's Digimon really can make a difference. So, all in all, so far we're really good on these. Final deck we're going to talk about is none other than QuartzEosmon. So this might be a very much for those Eosmon fans and girls out there, the boys and girls that enjoy this deck. What is very interesting to see is like Digimon Emperor. When one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this tamer, draw a card. This helps dig you for pieces, which is really what you need sometimes. Then you have Mayona. I'm going to botch your name, so I'm not even going to attempt it. This helps you search for your Eosmons when you play them, especially if this chains out. They look like they're only playing 10 Eosmons of this one, 3 of this one, and then, 1 Morphemon, 2 Morphemons, just to really get going. But it looks like they rely on this one a little bit more. All your other Eosmon gets plus 1000 DP, making them beefier, but you may play 1 level 5 Eosmon from your hand without paying its memory cost. Really can lead to being some benefits there. You have like QuartzEosmon here. Just being able to suspend and lock down your opponent's stuff is really nasty, especially since, if you can get all their tamers suspended, now you can permanently lock them. Even if they get rid of QuartzEosmon, their tamers aren't going to do anything after that point, because as long as she's out on the board, she's locking them down. So that really does help out there. Rapidmon for control. Terriermon's in here just because when his opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP. This allows power boosts to get into your big boss Digimon, or even just your Eosmon in itself, because you're going to lock down some of their stuff that way. It looks very interesting of a list. I can't even knock it until you try it. I think if you guys have this, give it a good try. I think you'll actually enjoy it. There's so much possibilities with this list. I think there's actually some optimization that can be done, but we'll have to see what the end results look like. All in all, though, I'm really excited to see what people keep, cooking up in their, thoughts and mind process here. There's so much potential, especially with how powerful QuartzEosmon is. It can be splashed in any green deck, so it'll definitely see what happens there. Maybe we'll see a Diaboromon. Maybe we'll see a Diaboromon with QuartzEosmon list. That would be very interesting. What did you guys think? So guys, what did you think of this video? Let me know down in the comments if you enjoyed the changes, and it'll let me know if you guys are enjoying it. That's the best way about it. But if you see anything on that list you might want me to cover, let me know down in the comments. Guys, remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.